Hello and welcome to One Take. This is episode 10. Can you believe it, guys? 10 episodes we've gotten through. Well, gotten through, I guess you could say. But still, that's an accomplishment, I guess. I mean, nine episodes in a row, right? More or less. So I figure to commemorate, it's a word. To commemorate, I'm using now. The 10th episode of which we have come together as a people and viewed. I'm gonna do a quick run through of life on the planet Earth, as noted by science. If you're someone who believes that the Earth is 6,000 years old, just don't watch this video. Don't watch any of my videos, actually. I don't need your view, crazy Dutch bastard. Now, let's get started. I do have a cheat sheet over here. It's full of things. So if you see me going like this, I'm not looking up your mom's phone number. I'm just looking at my cheat sheet, which also has your mom's phone number on it, apparently. Now, let's begin. 3.8 billion years ago, simple cells, prokaryotes, as we call them in the sciencey world. I don't know what we is. Prokaryotes formed, and oceans mostly, pools of water that were created by both the evaporation and then condensation of water onto the planet, and water being brought from asteroids and meteorites to the planet. All of this is theory, by the way. 3.4 billion years ago, stromatolites were the first organisms using photosynthesis, which is important because that basically started to segregate things, It's, there's these things that eat other things, and then there's these things that just don't need those other things because they'll just eat whatever they want. And by eat whatever they want, they just want the sun's energy. Because apparently it's delicious. 2 billion years ago, complex cells such as eukaryotes, starting to, those vacuoles and nuclei and ribosomes and nucleic acid. Followed by that, we have 1 billion years ago, the beginning of multicellular life, which more or less started out as crustacean based, just shelled little crawly things like crabs. Basically, they were just crabs that were uglier. Then, 600 million years ago, animals. We had animals like fish. Right? Fish started to be a thing, and I don't know, I guess being a fish is kind of cool, apparently. So the crab became a fish. Wonderful. 570 million years ago, anthropods. The things with legs. The ancestor of insects, arachnids, and crustaceans. So that crab thing, it's like this is the step up from the crab. It has more legs though. 550 million years ago, more complex animals, like large predatory, like sharks, basically. Shark kind of things happened. Followed by shark kind of things. By the way, I'm using fish as a metaphor. I don't literally mean fish. Fish kind of took a while. You know, the fish we know today. There were things swimming in the ocean that were technically animals, but they weren't really fish. Speaking of which, 500 million years ago, fish. Who would have known? And, you know, sort of kind of amphibians, you know. They could go out of the water, but they're just like, man, why would I leave the water? So, you know, proto-amphibians. Then, 475 million years ago, plants on land, as opposed to like algae and crap growing in the ocean, plants on land. So you see photosynthesis making, and then that fills the atmosphere with oxygen. You see where we're going with this? You know, it creates an abundance, you could say, of oxygen. Then, 400 million years ago, this is when things get interesting, we have insects and seed plants. Plants that produce seeds, like dandelions, I guess, would be a good... or sunflowers. But they weren't around then, of course. So, these insects, they had a lot of room to grow. It was mostly plants at the time, so we're talking 10-foot long dragonfly. That's the kind of thing that would be commonplace, you know. A beetle the size of a bus, more or less. You know, common day things at that point. After the insects, you know, they kind of used up a lot of the oxygen, toned it down a little bit. We have amphibians, 360 million years ago. So amphibians, they're important because that's more complex, you know, not to say anything bad about the insects, but the amphibians were kind of the thing of, oh, they have actual lungs that can do things, and maybe, I don't know, one day they'll be so advanced with their lungs and they're doing things that they'll create some sort of web around the entire Earth with which they will pass information along. Nah, that's just silly. Reptiles, 300 million years ago. This is the beginning of dinosaurs. Dinosaurs were the things that, I don't know, you kind of liked as a kid. I'll get to that. 200 million years ago, mammals start coming. Not like big woolly mammoths, no elk, no us even. But, you know, squirrel-like things, you know. Rodents of various sizes, that kind of stuff. None of them bigger than about 10 pounds, really. Because there were freaking dinosaurs all over the place. Do you want to be big then? No, I don't think so. Eventually, though, the dinosaurs, they were kind of like, you know, it'd be cool. Wings. So, you know, 150 million years ago, you know, the beginning of feathers and of, you know, hollow bones kind of started taking place within the dinosaurs. You know, the smaller fly types, like velociraptors. Velociraptors were probably basically just really angry chickens. 130 million years ago. Flowers. You know, flowering, budding, photosynthesizing things. The things we know today. Like sunflowers, which are flowers that, you know, sun, I guess. Flowers are kind of weird, I'll admit. Then, 65 million years ago, the dinosaurs died out from a number of causes. There was a meteor that hit near the Yucatan Peninsula. Peninsula. There was an asteroid that hit the Yucatan Peninsula, more or less, and that basically caused a lot of climate change, a couple of volcanic eruptions, that kind of thing. As a side note, this video will be in two parts. This is going to be part 1, and I will probably upload part 2 tomorrow just to get myself, lazy.